Yo, yo, yo. Listen, man, this is Harsh Reality 102. Decided to come back with another one. Uh, Trying to keep this shit consistent. Keeping the content flowing. Trying to gain more viewers. Trying to get more listeners, more ears in on what I'm talking about within Harsh Reality. So basically, today's topic is going to be uh, reaching out to our African American community or my African American community. Um, it's got a lot of concerns, especially with today's climate and what's going on with everything that we do, man. I'm a black man. I have a family. I have two daughters, and where we are in society is very troubling to kind of try to forecast what we may grow into with the new generations. And I'm sure this has been said about my generation and generations that go up for years. But I felt the need to try to just address some things that I feel like we can do as a I really don't want to say a race of people, but some things that we can do for our society to try to figure out a good lane that we can decide that we want to be in. I feel like we need to figure out what it is or how we want to be perceived, or how we want to be accepted, or how we want to be taken into society, like on a serious note. We could march, we can chant, we can make songs, we could make excuses for another 50 years, but I honestly feel as if the huge change is going to come within making a change. We have to eliminate those those old lifestyles, or those old ways of being in life. We have to figure out what we understand as. We have to figure out what we want to understand, not what we need or should understand. You know, Accepting a fate is one thing. So if you can honestly look yourself in the mirror, and if you have a family, you look at your wife or your husband or your kids or your mother, your father, grandmother, whoever you actually thrive for daily. If you can look them in the face or in the eyes, or yourself, you can honestly say that you don't want anything out of life, and if that you want to be a statistic, and you want to be treated as though you're less than what society standards are. And then I I would say that that would be an acceptable way to go ahead and just wear it on your chest and say I don't want to be anything. But essentially the point in what I'm trying to make out of the Harsh Reality 102, this is the second episode. I want us to be able to try to figure out an identity for ourselves. I don't honestly, and I will not honestly allow myself to be comfortable with thinking that there are people in the world who just want less, or who just want to be idolized in a light that we allow the media to portray us as. It would be really hard for me to try to sit a young man down and explain to him that, hey, listen, if you take a record deal that's portraying you to be an ignorant young black man, and not take the millions of dollars that comes behind it, they would look me in the eyes and call me a blithering idiot, to ask them not to do those types of things. So my objective is to try to educate anyone who's willing to listen to try to change the narrative. What we do, or what you guys are doing, is molding generation or previous generations or further generations of this, disadvantage with over our community. I had a conversation the other day, and we talked about going to music concerts, whether it's rap, hip hop, pop, rock and roll, blues, whatever. And when you go to these concerts, you have to look at the demographic that pays for the concert tickets, and then you combine that with the demographic who actually buys physical media, and it doesn't make up a huge portion of our society as black people. To not say too much, we know who's paying for all of the media. So who's buying the tickets, who's going to the concerts, who's buying the physical media, and who actually know a lot of these lyrics word for word. We discussed the fact that they actually are educated enough to understand that, that's kind of where it stays. It stays where it is, and they accept it for what it is. It's just music to listen to, and it's entertainment to be entertained by, but that's where they leave it. It's where it stops. I feel in our black community, a lot of our young black men and women listen to these lyrics, and we kind of go back to what I call as a slave mind. So my definition of a slave mind is one who allows themselves, in order to have a slave mind, you would have had to have some type of slave heritage or ancestry. If you don't, or say you can say that you don't have that, then you would never understand what it is to have a slave mind. But in the black community, a slave mind would be one who allows themselves to remain stuck in one area of disadvantage without at least trying or putting forth additional effort to break barriers for themselves and for whether it's their family or friends or whoever. But as a black African American, as a black male or any black woman or female, if you allow yourself to become stuck on, if you allow yourself to be stuck on music, lyrics, things of that nature that will leave you captivated in this type of dream, or this type of, I would call it a fantasy, what you may listen to in these lyrics, especially nowadays. We have to be able to break a mental barrier or a mental chain where you feel as if you're going to live the life of what someone else is portraying in a song or on a video or even in a movie. Leave it where it is. It's just entertainment. If you want to be entertained by it, it's fine, but yet still you have to still understand what it is within yourself, how you want to be portrayed, and what it is you want out of your life. If you can honestly say that you feel as if what you want out of life is what you hear someone else rap about on a song, or what you see someone do in a music video, or if you would say that you're comfortable with living a lifestyle and a lifestyle based on what you see in a movie, then we're failing miserably. And that kind of just spits in the faces of people who were black, who died for our rights to be able to become educated and to become doctors and lawyers and police officers and business owners and fathers and husbands and sons. The history lesson of our heritage has been bleached down by the school system. It's they teach slavery for 1 month out of a year, and it's sugarcoated. So I would if you're a father or whatever, husband, and I can only speak from a male's perspective, but if you're a mother as well, or a sister, or a niece, or a granddaughter, whoever you are, it's really important to teach the real information in reference to Black or African American history and what happened to our ancestry and what people did and what people died for to allow us to be where we are in society right now. People gave their lives for us to be able to, for you to even be able to click on YouTube and go to a Harsh Reality channel and listen to what I'm saying. But I felt the need to at least be able to get this kind of information, off my chest and out to people who would listen. And this information is not just for Black people, and it's for whoever listens. This information is for anyone who's Black who may feel as if they need to be able to break free. This is for anyone who may be Bengali and live their lives based on the stereotype that all Black people are criminals and thieves, or a white person who feel the same way, or a Chinese person, or a Japanese person, or someone who's from Thailand, or someone who's from Russia, or someone who's from Australia. If you feel as if Black people are all bad, or Black people are thieves, or all Black people are this, that, and the other, this is for you too, to listen, to become educated in reference to, listening to stereotypes versus judging people for yourselves and getting to know people. I talk to a lot of different races of people, and what I was actually able to put together some really simple things that other races do that Black people just we try to do, but we don't do it the right way. And when I say that, I mean we have this slave mind stigma that we either want to be fresher. And I'm gonna say when I mean by fresher, I mean appear to be or appear to have more than someone else. And it could be anyone. It doesn't have to be another Black person. But we really have this Black on Black crime of wanting to be better than one another. And that's the slave mind. If you go back to slavery, there was times when slave masters would put slaves up against each other, whether they were fighting each other to see who would win. And then, it's really deep. But you carry on that same type of mindset in the DNA structure of children who's being born today. I have this desire to be fresher, or to appear to look better, or have more than the next person. I honestly don't think that we should live our lives based on how much more we have than other people. Understand what you have, understand what you want, and then that's just it. Being humbled is the best thing. It's a nice, clean feeling on the inside. A feeling of not having a concern or a worry about what someone else is doing or what someone else may have. And then allowing your natural person to shine. What I mean by shine is to stand out for what you represent and how you really feel. We don't spend a lot of money within Black businesses, and I, for one, would say that I have this real bad taste in my mouth for doing business with Black people, because I feel as if a lot of the previous business that I've contracted out amongst Black people, I feel as if the work isn't up to quality, or the level of desire to have a good, clean, finished job, or to just customer service. The concern, it's like I almost feel as if it's not there. And I'm not saying that for all Black businesses. I'm just saying that my personal experience, out of a percentage, the majority of my encounters were not good. So I almost can't really blame some people for feeling the way they feel if they see a Black person show up to do a job. I'm not saying that all Black people are lazy or anything like that. I just feel as if we need to have a little bit more passion about what we do and how we do things. Carrying on tradition, I think that carrying on tradition is not something that people should really take serious. You know, I almost feel as if carrying on tradition is almost like um, carrying on a religion that you don't naturally agree with. You know, if your mother or your mother's mother or whomever was a certain religion, Catholic, Baptist, Christian, whatever, and then you can think to yourself and say, well, the only reason why I'm a Catholic is because my mother was a Catholic and she raised me to be Catholic, and so I'm going to be Catholic. I don't think that's a reason for you to be Catholic, you know. And that's the same reference to carrying on tradition. It's like, well, I'm doing this because it's a family tradition. You know, that's not a real reason to do anything because it's a tradition. Like someone decided to say this is a tradition and we do this every year, so we're going to just keep doing it even though I don't like to do it. No, it's okay to have a mind of your own and say fuck this tradition and fuck this religion. I'm not doing any of this shit because I don't like it. You know, you don't have to carry on tradition because 40 years of people decided to do it. You know, when I say fuck carrying on tradition, and we got to start spending more money within the black community, and we got to start supporting more black businesses. So I don't want to sound like I'm contradicting myself, because when I say I don't really like to contract black businesses for the work that I need, but I just say that to loop around to say that, you know, if you're a black business owner or if you're black and you do work, I mean, have a little bit more passion in what you do, you know. Have some type of passion about your finished work and your end job and how people think and how people feel about you and how you represent yourself and how you show up to the job. And, you know, I feel as though we could build our own personal brand a lot better if we cared about those types of things. It's you know, it's the stereotypes is real deep, you know, and when I see it, the first thing that comes to my mind is, well, that's that stereotype right there. They're making it, you know, obvious, and they're holding firm to what they think and feel about you. And should you care about how people think and feel about you? I don't think so. You know, I don't think you should give a shit about how anybody feel about you. You know, I don't think you should give a shit about whether someone, you know, judge you based on how your hair looked, or if you, you know, brushed your beard, you know what I'm saying, or if you ironed your clothes. Like, you shouldn't care about that kind of stuff. But, you know, you should still be able to have some type of representation about yourself that speaks volumes about you and the quality of yourself if you feel as if you have a quality standpoint. We also need to really start taking our health into consideration. Eating healthy is really, really, really important for where we are in society right now. There's a lot of things that we consume that we feel comfortable with, especially soul food. You want to call soul food? I do feel as if there's a way to healthy up soul food, you know. And I won't go into like ingredients or any like tips and tricks or anything like that. But, you know, if you honestly know that you're just putting a bunch of trash in your body, you have to look at, you know, what the old saying is, your body is your temple. So you have to put quality into your body to be able to sustain a quality life. You know, no one wants to be a diabetic, carry on high blood pressure, have fucked up kidneys, you know what I mean, fucked up pancreas, liver, you know, colon all fucked up, you know, circulation fucked up brain, you know what I mean. A lot of that comes from our diets, what we put into our body. You know, I'm sure there's probably a million people in the world who feel like smoking weed doesn't harm your lungs. You know, and it's like, well, you're putting something in your lungs that shouldn't be in there. You know what I mean? So, and I'm one to speak on something like that because I really enjoy a casual alcoholic beverage, but I have to understand that when I drink alcohol, I'm ruining my brain, as well as my liver, as well as my esophagus, as well as my stomach, as well as my colon. It's like it's like poison to my body. So I try my best to do it in moderation, depending on what's going on in my life. I'm not here to say that I'm perfect, and I'm not here to judge anyone for what I'm saying. I just figure I reach out and I talk to the black community a little bit about things that we can just adjust and change, just to try to better ourselves. And who am I? Who am I to judge? I'm not judging anyone. I'm just saying that whoever listens or watches the Harsh Reality 102, that's what this shit is about. It's about motivating black people to just rise above the bullshit. That's all this shit is. Money, knowledge, finances. They don't teach us this shit in school, man. How to make a budget, how to finance, what you should and should not finance, how important having good credit is. I remember a time when I was young, I thought I was going to be this great big business owner, and I for some dumb reason I thought I wouldn't need credit, and I was going to have just wads of money, and I could buy anything I wanted with cash, and I wouldn't need credit. I was fucking wrong, and I was in for a rude awakening. So I spent all my 20s fucking over my credit, and I spent all of my 30s. I won't really say all of, because I'm still in my 30s, but I spent the majority of my 30s cleaning up all the bullshit I did in my 20s. So now, when I turn 40, I can enjoy financial benefits. That's a long time that just goes away real fast. Fuck over 20s, pay for it in 30s. Now you can be financially comfortable in 40s. Why live a life like that when you can take care of your business in your 20s, really get on in your 30s, and then by the time you're 40, you have a motherfucking, nice bank account. You know what I mean? So, money, knowledge, financial education is very important. Again, if you are mother, father, brother, sister, grandmother, grandfather, sister, cousin, whoever you are, and it's something that you could teach someone who would listen, I'm going to tell you straight up, do not waste your time on anyone who's not going to listen to you. Total waste of time, and you know it. Don't fucking waste your time. Talk to the people who's going to follow your guidance and listen to what you're saying. Those are the ones who are worthy. Those are the ones who normally get overlooked. We put a lot of time and energy into people who won't listen to you and don't have what you have to share, or what you want to share to them. They don't have the same interests, but they'll listen, but you're wasting your time, and then you'll end up disappointed, and they'll just end up treating you like you never done anything for them, and then it'll be a great big new fiasco of bullshit that we gonna have in the black community. Education is very important. So financial education, standard education is very important. Money, knowledge, health, all rolls into this educational circle that I'm talking about. We should be teaching this shit to our little kids. Education about how to spend money, how to save money, what to eat, what not to eat. This is something that I wasn't told when I was growing up. I ate ramen noodles and bullshit my whole life. McDonald's Happy Meals, orange drink, you know what I'm saying, duplex cookies, and grew up eating a bunch of bullshit fast food, not knowing shit about credit. And now I'm at this point understanding, like, damn, I wish I would have been doing this shit 20 years ago. So I'm talking this shit on Harsh Reality just to try to get some information to some people who may be able to give it to other people who could probably carry it on. I think we should also talk to our kids in a younger community about people who died for our race. I think understanding that there were people who literally gave their lives so that we could have some type of life today that we could consider to be free. Which, some people will consider this life and say that we're not free, but my brother would argue you and say that you have to understand that, we've only technically been free for about 50, 60 years out of however many years you want to put on top of that. Very, very small percentage. Very, very small percentage. It's almost not even debatable how long we've been free in this little time, and how much of a jump start we need to get to try to make sure that we have a good sustainable future for ourselves and our kids and our grandkids going forward. Talk about, again, when I double back, talk about the things that happen, not just Black History Month, Black History Year. Talk about the shit all year round. And I feel like we have to take perception seriously. You know, how people perceive you is very important. You know, you could talk about how much you don't care, but it is really important. At the end of the day, I think people who say that they don't care about how they are perceived, if you listen to them argue or complain or vent, at the end of the day, you know, a lot of what they say is about the perception of themselves. This person think this person said that. And so I say, well, why do you care about what this person said? Because I don't want such and such to look at me this way. Well, then that's perception. So, you know, take that as your number one standing in what you do every day. How am I going to be perceived today? You know, perception is definitely very, very important in what you do and what you can do in life. Whether you can get a job, whether you even get invited to an interview, whether you get invited to a dinner, whether you're able to have the conversations you need to have to get to where you need to be in life. You know, if you feel as if, hey, these people just won't give me a chance, and it may be the way they perceive you, you may have to change your look until you're able to get to where you need to be in life. And then once you're there, you have some leverage. You can adjust to what you want, and you can say, this is how I'm coming in because this is just what I want, and I have the power, and I'm good. I'm just going to look this way. You know, perception is definitely number one in what you're going to be doing in your life. You know, so those are just some of the things I wanted to kind of throw out there. I'm running 30 minutes on the Harsh Reality 102. Not a whole lot to talk about this week. Not a lot of movies or TV shows. I've been watching the same bullshit, so nothing to talk about there. I got a couple of new games. We're playing some PS5 this week. We'll play this new joint called Deathloop, and this new joint called Kena on PS5. Still cracking heads on 2K22. Still getting my ass whooped on Madden. I'm working on it. Other than that, you know, it's just work as usual, making money and you know, talking shit. That's what I do. Harsh Reality. Another thing I want to I'm kind of just beating my head to the wall with this one, and you know, it's kind of hard to watch the news daily, you know, with listening to vaccine this, vaccine that. So I'm not talking about any vaccines on this episode. You know, I'm talking about the news, and you know, one thing I have a hard time wrapping my head around is the killing. You know, so I understand that we, as human beings, there's going to be killers. You know, in any type of living organism set, whether you're looking at animals, you know, you try to break down the animal life cycle, and you know, killing is like natural, you know, but as human beings, we've decided that, you know, killing is not natural, and someone must have come up with that idea and said that, hey, look, killing is wrong, and you know, it shouldn't happen. That's one thing that I do agree with. You know, I don't believe that killing should happen. Like, you know, I don't understand the desire for one person to take another person's life for any reason. You know, for any reason, I just don't agree with it. You know, I don't see how anyone else could. For the simplest things, you feel as if you're going to take a life. That if you could have any type of sense at any point and say, this shit don't make no fucking sense. You know, whether this person has something that you want, Whether this person may have done something that really, really angers you. At the end of the day, a life lost is like unacceptable, you know. And I could say that, but then I could also say that, you know, there's other things that people decide that is right and wrong, and I totally disagree with, you know. So this part of the segment is totally debatable. I don't think that a person who agrees with people killing people would stand long, but you know, if you want to debate that, that's fine. Um, I just don't understand how or what happens in the mind to where you feel as if that's the next thing to do. You know, whether it's an accident or, you know, I could understand if it was an accident, or you can honestly say, hey, listen, I wasn't trying to do that, and this is what happened. You know, whether you're fighting or tussling, whatever. But if you just literally go out and just kill someone for any reason, it almost I can't think of a reason that would justify you going and murdering someone else. I mean, you would have to had, I guess the only I can't think of one. You know, retaliation will probably be the only reason I would say that I could sit and say, well, you know, hey, listen, I understand why this person went and committed murder, because they were retaliating for the murder of one of their relatives. And I'm still not saying that it should happen. I'm just saying that's the only reason I could see it making sense for someone to go and do it. Yet, you know, this is something that happens daily. Like constantly is what you hear about is death, murder, innocent children, mothers, daughters, women. I mean, yeah, death doesn't have a preference, of course, but it's got to be something that we can do to minimize the amount of deaths that happen. You know, if you decide you want to kill somebody over some money or something somebody said, or it really got to be, I can't think of anything other than like some type of retaliation. And you know, at the end of the day, you know, I get really sad when I see people killing for just the dumbest fucking reasons. And I'm sure they regret it afterwards. And it's like, how do we, for year after year after year after year, it don't matter how many stories you listen to or you hear, you still fall down that rabbit hole where you end up murdering someone and then being a part of that society of murderers. You know, and at some point it's almost like, well, is there a let's just say it's a mental illness amongst people. You got to be fucking mentally ill to go and murder somebody knowing the consequences that may happen. Either someone's going to retaliate, or you're going to be caught and then you'll be in jail and then your life is over, versus doing things the right way. So I'll chalk this Harsh Reality 102 up to just doing shit the right way. You know, I kicked it with my black people about, you know, making some adjustments, tighten up, and just changing the mode for ourselves. You know, making it to where when we go places, you're not stared at because, you know, of the perception, the stereotypes. Change the narrative. People died for us to be able to do these types of things. You know, and I also feel bad about, you know, black families when, you know, you have like a grandmother or a great grandmother or whomever who we look at as being like a jail or like a yeah, I'm gonna say the jail of a family. You know, we lose those people, and then the family just goes into array. You know, I remember growing up and I would see my cousins like weekly. I would see, if not all of them, at least 90% of my cousins. I would see them weekly, if not weekly, every other week. I would see them. We would all get to one place. Our mothers and fathers would get together, and you know, we would all see each other, and we would have fun, and we would talk and play video games and play, you know, sports and eat and have fellowship, congregate, and you know, we would Sunday was our day where we would just actually kind of just get ready for the week, and then it was on to work Monday through Friday. But on the weekend, you was probably seeing a few of your cousins. We don't do that now. People just kind of do their own thing, or they have like these little cliques of people who they only associate themselves with. And I guess I could kind of understand that, and I'm cool with the fact that, there are people who would just rather deal with certain people, and if that what makes your life easier, and I agree, and I think that's what you should do. But if that's not what it is, then I think that people should try to get back to the way things used to be when everyone kind of looked out for each other. If you had a really good secure net of people who really, really, truly love each other and really could help each other, then we would have more. We could have more. We could be happier. So I don't know. I'm just talking shit, man. It's Harsh Reality. It's what I do once a week. You know what I'm saying? It's Harsh Reality 102. And I felt like I just kind of wanted to take it to heart a little bit this week and kind of not focus on the other bullshit that's going on in the world, and talk about maybe getting back down to the roots, maybe in a hybrid way, not the old-fashioned roots, but get back to the roots, but in a more sophisticated, fashionable way that fits, 2021, going into 2022. Just something to think about. I'm just talking shit again, and this Harsh Reality, man. Thinking about maybe launching a Harsh Reality gaming channel. I kind of already got one, but I just kind of incorporated all my Harsh Reality into one channel. I do a little something on Twitch sometimes, and I don't know. Just expect more content from your mans, and hopefully I can grow this channel. If anybody watched this channel, or if anybody watches my channel, or if anybody listens to my content, if you have any ideas, any suggestions, I got a head full of different things and different directions that I'm going in, trying to keep myself busy, and I want to be able to just kind of deliver what I got going on up here out into the world. Because if I can laugh at it and if I can smile about it, I'm sure you guys can too. So on that note, holla at me. We out till next week. Coming with more content. Keep that